That night, Doss was ambushed by his bunkmates. They pinned him to the ground and beat him mercilessly until the commotion woke Smitty. Rushing over, Smitty intervened and stopped the assault. By then, Doss's face was covered in blood. Seeing Doss in such a battered state, Smitty tried to persuade him to give up and leave, warning him not to drag others down with him. The next day, the captain came looking for Doss, but was greeted by the sight of bloodstains on his bed. He immediately understood what Doss had endured the night before. When Doss returned to the barracks, still covered in bruises, the entire unit fell silent, simply watching him without a word. The captain asked how he had gotten his injuries, but Doss insisted he had fallen. Realizing that Doss had no intention of ratting out his attackers, the captain could only advise him to quit the army, telling him there was no point in staying and becoming a burden to others. But Doss wasn't swayed. On the contrary, he told the captain he was scheduled for duty shortly and planned to report as usual. One day, the unit was given leave to visit their families. When Doss's name was called for his turn to go home, a colonel suddenly stormed in. Having learned about Doss's situation from the captain, the colonel was there to address Doss's refusal to handle firearms, an issue of military discipline and faith. To challenge Doss, the colonel ordered a subordinate to bring over a rifle and instructed Doss to demonstrate how to use it. This was a clear attempt to force Doss into abandoning his beliefs. Even the captain urged Doss to reconsider, warning him that refusal would lead to a court-martial and that he'd spend the rest of the war locked away in a military prison. Meanwhile, Mary was waiting at the church for Doss to return so they could get married. Friends and family had all gathered, but Doss was nowhere to be seen. Despite the delay, Mary firmly believed Doss wasn't the type to run from marriage. Something must have happened to prevent him from arriving. At that moment, Doss was confined in a detention cell. Even so, he remained steadfast in his faith. What troubled him most, however, wasn't his own predicament. It was the thought of missing his own wedding.